Hi-yo, hello again, and welcome to Portal Season 2024, episode number 7 of this crazy Portal season. My name's Jay Tate. You know that because it says that right there. Yes. Hey, thank you for joining me again today. We've got a lot to get to. Auburn's added 3 players just today, and we still have sunlight out. Who knows what's going to happen? Also lost 1 player to the portal, and we got some other stuff to discuss as well. So let's jump right into it. The big news here, Ashton Daniels. Or I think this is the big news. Ashton Daniels is the quarterback from Stanford, who actually played high school ball in Buford, Georgia, at the powerhouse there in Buford, has signed with Auburn. He is committed and signed with Auburn. He's going to be competing with Jackson Arnold for the starting job, presumably. However, Ashton Daniels is not nearly as complete a player as Jackson Arnold. You can see some of the numbers there, 6'2", 215. Started 10 of the Cardinals' 11 games this past season. They were just so-so. Actually, they probably weren't even so-so. 72.6 grade is actually pretty solid. That's approximately what Peyton Thorne put together for the Auburn Tigers this year. That the concerning thing is, first of all, for his career at Stanford, 21 touchdowns and 20 interceptions, which is not great, throwing the football-wise. And he actually had 22% completion percentage beyond 20 yards this year. So, you know, obviously he's got some shortcomings, but one of the good things about him is that he's a very good runner. 669 yards rushing this year on 148 carries. I think he had 3 rushing touchdowns and a 3-star recruit in the 2022 class. So really he's going to be here to be QB2. And at this point, with Walker White gone, with Hank gone, with Holden gone, it's really just Jackson, Ashton, and Deuce. That's your crew. Might be better off having one more, one way or another, but I don't know what they're planning to do there. But I think 3 is going to be probably just plenty. Anyway, it's nice that Auburn has its quarterback situation squared away this quickly after the portal season open. Obviously, Jackson's going to be the guy, and everything's going to be hinging on him. But it's nice to have an experienced guy like this who's played a lot of college football to back him up. This is a very under-the-radar pick. This is a guy who signed with Auburn early today, Ryan Strader, cornerback from Miami, Ohio. I'm fanatical about this kid. I think he's really, really good. 6'0", 182, started 24 games. The only game he didn't start in his career at Miami, Ohio was his first one. Once they threw him in there, they said, we ain't taking him out. 1,500 snaps he's already played as a sophomore. And a 73.6 grade from PFF this past season, which is about approximately 10 points better than he did as a freshman when he was a freshman All-American with the FWAA. So I think this is a really good pickup. This is going to put some pressure on Kay and Lee. It's going to put some pressure on Crawford. Somebody's going to be the odd man out, but you can also roll those guys around. You're still looking for a nickel, assuming, you don't know what's going to happen with Champ Anthony. He was playing some great football when he broke his leg, so maybe he can come back and be in that fray. But we've kind of been wondering, hey, is Auburn going to get this, lockdown corner situation and kind of get a new generation Carlos Rogers, for better or for worse? And I don't know if Ryan Strader is quite there yet, but I think this is a very high ceiling, ready to play stud cornerback right here, and I think this is a big, big plus for the Auburn Tigers. Auburn also got a signing today from Tay Seymour, who is a safety, played at Georgia Tech. Just so-so numbers, 51.6 grade this year. He's kind of a special teams guy as his freshman year, the first year in 23, but just kind of so-so. I think he has a chance to get better. Rotational guy, approximately the same as Caleb Wooden. The area that I find most interesting about this particular young man is that he's best friends and roommates with Eric Singleton Jr., who is a very coveted slot receiver, outside receiver from Georgia Tech. ESPN, has him rated as the number 2 or number 3 player in the entire portal. So the fact that Auburn's got this signee with Tay, that he's going to be a part of the team, I think this is going to really swing the odds in Auburn's favor to get Singleton, who is definitely on my beast list and who is somebody that Auburn can definitely use absolutely right away. So we'll see how that affects things. Now that we have a chance to kind of reset, we can look at what Auburn's gotten so far in the portal. Remember last year they were a week in and had like one guy or nobody. This year they've got 6 already, and a lot of these guys are good. Jackson Arnold, obviously the quarterback from Oklahoma, I'm giving him an A- on my impact score. Darrell Robinson, the tailback from UConn, also from Charlotte before that. I'm giving him a B. Could be a B plus. I like the size and I love the toughness, and I think he's going to be an important part of what they do next year. Hudson Cock is a left-footed Australian punter. I mean, a great punter is worth his weight in gold, but it's hard for me to give an impact score over a B for a punter. Ryan Strader, who I mentioned earlier, I'm giving him an A- on the impact score. I think he's going to plug and play. You go right in, and he's your number one cornerback, and I think he's a stud. Again, his pass completion percentage when people were throwing against him last year was like 50%, and that is amazing for a cornerback. Tay Seymour, for me, I'm giving him a C. Trying to be diplomatic here. He didn't play very well last year. There's always a chance that he kind of clicks with a new coordinator, and he's a good athlete. It's just a matter of kind of taking those tools and turning them into skills, if you know what I mean. And then Ashton Daniels, a fine backup quarterback. He was a starter last year, but with 21 touchdowns and 20 interceptions for his career, he's obviously got some recognition issues, and I think that he profiles nicely as a QB2 behind Jackson Arnold, honestly. Another guy was here on campus. He left his visit earlier today. Cody Hardy, a very tall and long tight end from Elon, 6'5", 271. When I looked up his PFF score, I was like, I bet his numbers are going to be great because this guy, he's going to be visiting Alabama. He's already been to Oklahoma State. He's going to North Carolina State. I mean, if these kinds of schools are looking at him, Auburn, obviously, he must be pretty good. Well, his PFF grade was 53.4. I mean, he was near the bottom of his team. So, I mean, maybe he's just a blocker. Maybe he's going to be the new Luke Deal. I don't know. He's played in 32 games, including 17 starts, 1,000 career snaps. So this is a very experienced player. And he grew up in North Carolina. Unrated recruit in the 22 class. You guys know how I feel about kids getting an opportunity to kind of rise up. But I'm kind of in the dark a little bit about this because remember they had the Kentucky player, Kamari, was in a couple of days ago, and I kind of look at him the same way. Like, if you need another Rivaldo Fairweather, these guys aren't it. Also, I don't have a card for him, but Amaris Williams, who I think is one of Auburn's really good up-and-coming defensive players, entered the portal today. He can play three technique. He could be a defensive end. I was personally looking forward to seeing him play next year quite a bit. Now, here's the thing. He's in the portal. He's not mad at Auburn. I think he's shopping around for more money, as a lot of kids do. I'm not blaming him for that. Auburn is not content to just let him go in the portal and say, hey, man, appreciate you. See you around. Auburn sent an envoy out to North Carolina, and they're going to try to win him back. So Auburn is not giving up its fight in the pursuit or re-pursuit of Amaris Williams. Keep that in mind. I want to get to the next list here. Not much has changed, really. I went ahead and put the Auburn logos next to the players that have signed with Auburn, so they're doing pretty well on their beast list. Tay Seymour, I think, would have been 12th on this list for me, and then Hudson Cock. I mean, it's hard. I mean, special teams guys, they are what they are. But Auburn's got a shot with Poyser. Auburn's got a shot with Clev Lubin. Auburn's definitely got a shot with Eric Singleton. So we'll just kind of see how this works out. I would think Auburn's on the outside looking in with Josh Thompson, and Phoenix Jackson for me is kind of hard to assess at this point. But Auburn's. Look. We talked about on the video for I guess that debuted this morning with Brian Matthews. Auburn got very entrepreneurial with this portal session, this portal season. And they got very assertive, and they got kids on campus, and they made big offers, and they knew exactly who they wanted to go after. Much more organized, and so far, much more successful. Things are going very, very well on that tip. So, overall, going well. Big day today. Again, 3 guys added, including Ashton Daniels, a good backup quarterback, and Ryan Strader, who I think is going to be a really good plug-and-play cornerback. One thing I got to mention before we get off the air, something that's important to me, unfortunately, Chet Williams, who has been the chaplain for Auburn football as long as I can remember. I started covering Auburn in 98, and he probably got here in 99 or 2000. He unfortunately passed away on Sunday night, and this has really affected Auburn in a big way. The players, so many players, have had their lives touched by Chet. I wrote about this on Twitter a little bit. Not trying to make the story about me, but I'm here talking. But I grew up in a household where we didn't have any religion, And I was saved in 2003 and had a lot of conversations with Chet. As I was going through that process, I became Catholic. I went through something called RCIA, and he wasn't necessarily well-versed in that, but he was very well-versed in the Word and in the Lord, and helping me understand where I fit in the world and how much God loved me. And I don't want to turn this into a religious thing, but Chet really opened my eyes to some things. And what was weird about it was that I'm just a sports writer. He's talking with kids. His job is to be there for kids and whoever else. But that's the thing, whoever else. If I walk in there, he always had his door open. And I could sit down anytime and just talk to him. And he put a lot of great ideas in my head that turned out to be life-changing ideas about religion and Christianity and just me finding my place in this world. So I am always going to remember Chet fondly for what he did for me in my own life. And he's going to be missed. So anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there before I get out of my sorts here. But thank you very much for watching. If you guys, please subscribe to the channel if you feel moved to do so, and I will continue cranking out these videos. Appreciate you guys. I will see you next time. Peace.